What's up, guys? So I am about to get my trip going, heading to the West Coast, going from Dallas, Texas to California, right? Southern California to be exact. Got the C8 Z06 behind me. As you can see, that's all taped up. My tape job isn't probably the best, but hey, I was trying to get through it. Actually, think I missed a couple spots, so I might throw some little tape on there. Whatever. Anyways, now that I can see it in the light, I was in the garage, it was a little bit dark. But yeah, got the thing mostly taped up, and I'm going to start getting this journey going. So I got this track armor stuff to put on. It's gonna help. It's basically just saran, big old stronger saran wrap. That's pretty much what it is. Because this trip going from Dallas to California, it's a little bit more dusty, right? And I feel like my car will get sandblasted at some point. I've had it happen. So I wanted to protect the car a little bit more, do this track armor stuff on. Once again, I'm not a wrap specialist. I'm seeing multiple places I missed right now that I didn't see in the garage. All good. I'll fix that up. But I'm gonna get rolling here in a moment and give you guys some updates along the way and talk about the car and how it's handling throughout this trip and my thoughts on it for a road trip and all that. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and let's keep it going. All right, guys, so I'm on the road. I'm driving towards El Paso right now. Yeah, so basically when you're going from Dallas, Texas to Southern California, there's like two routes you could take. One goes through El Paso all the way through kind of the southern part of New Mexico, and then goes through the southern part of Arizona, Tucson, Phoenix, and so on, and then over to SoCal, right? Or you could go the little bit more northern route and then go through Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then come down through that route into Arizona, down to Phoenix eventually, and so on. I'm taking the southern route because I'm not sure how the weather is on the northern route. I know it goes through some hills, and I don't know if it really goes through any mountainous areas, but if so, I really don't want to get stuck anywhere. I don't want it to be cold and rainy or ice or snow, whatever. It is winter time right now, so I definitely don't want to do that. This is now my second really long road trip with this car, with the C8 Z06. The first one was going from North Carolina to Texas. Now I'm going from Texas to Southern California. Wanted to kind of just walk through a few bits and pieces of what it feels like to drive this car a really long distance, right? There's gonna be a lot of people who purchase this car and park it in the garage. I'm not that type of guy. I'm the type of guy who, when I buy a car, I put miles on it, I run it, and I run it, and I run it. I got a C6 Z06 with 219,000 miles on it, and the car is still running. Only issues I've ever really had with that car is just normal wear and tear stuff for the most part. I have had to replace a few head gaskets on that car, mainly because I tracked it a whole bunch and it didn't have the best cooling, so it overheated a lot. So I had to fix that. I haven't had overheating problems really since, once I got to the bottom of my issues, which are really fan related. But anyways, this car's been great. Temperature outside right now, not fully sure, somewhere probably in the 60s, I believe. I think mid 60s or so, maybe high 60s. So it's a decent day outside, actually kind of abnormal for this part of the year. Usually it's a lot colder. I've driven through here and it's been like freaking snowing. So anyways, luckily it's not doing that. Now, comfort-wise, that's what I'm going to talk about right now, at least comfort for the car, right? So the seats that I got for this car are the GT2 seats. I can't remember if that's like the standard seat or not. I cannot remember all the options I went through. I don't have the options in front of me. One day I'll do a video where I talk through every freaking option I got for this car so you can know exactly what it was and what it cost and all that crap. But right now, yeah, I got the GT2 seats. These seats are, they're pretty comfy to me, right? Now, everybody has a different kind of back. There's some people who have bad backs. There's people who have really good backs, right? My back, I feel like, is good. I'm an athletic kind of guy. I work out, I run every day, played football in college, ran track in college. I'm still super active, all that stuff. I also professionally drive race cars, so maybe my point of view might be a little skewed. This seat to me is pretty comfortable. I can go on this long, this whole journey is going to be from Dallas to Southern California is about 20 hours, over 20 hours. So I'll be in the car, my butt in this seat for 20 hours. I know when my butt was in the seat for like 17, 18 hours going from the East Coast to Texas, I know when I did that, my butt didn't hurt at all. And right now, I'm already a few hours into this trip, and I'm pretty golden. So it's definitely comfortable on your butt for sure. Now, for your lower back and all that stuff, the seat to me feels good. Now, once again, I'm accustomed to more race type seats. This does not feel like a racing seat. It feels like a mix between a touring and a racing seat. Something that's going to be a little bit of a bucket to keep you in there. So if you're going around corners, you're not flying all over the place like the standard seat that you get in a C8 Z06. Those seats were terrible. I had to quickly upgrade those to like some more performance style seats. But for this car, these ones keep you in there pretty good, but it's not like an actual race seat. Yeah, you can get like whatever model seat above this one, I forget what it's called, that's a lot more track oriented. You can get that seat, but I heard it wasn't the most comfortable seat in the world as far as long trips. When I bought this car, I wanted to buy a car that I can go to the track, I can also take on long trips, and the seat that I got for it here with this GT2 seat, I think it's a seat for anybody who wants to do that, right? People who want to drive it, cruise it, also occasionally go to the track. I think this seat is the one that you want to go with. I didn't watch my speeds here. It's like an 75, 80 mile per hour road over here, so I don't want to make sure I don't get too carried away and start going 90 miles per hour. But anyways, you know, I'm gonna put this thing on cruise control actually, so I can make sure I'm driving, you know, a reasonable speed. Cruise control, there we go. Boom, should be golden. The thing is to, you know, drive with the flow of traffic. I think that's what I'm doing right now. All right, so now as far as like the feel of the car, as far as how the suspension feels, is the ride harsh, you name it. I heard there was some YouTuber that did some review on this car and said that the ride was crap. I don't believe that. This ride is great. If you're a past Z06 owner, if you owned Z06s in the past, you know what you're getting when you buy a Z06. You're getting a track-oriented car that still has a lot of great comfort to it, so you can drive it on the street. GM always does a phenomenal job with their Z06 models, where you can have the best of every single world you want. It's just how they do it with these cars, and I love it. Right now, I am driving in the touring mode. You can change the modes by going to this little circular dial thing here that looks like what the BMW's got in them, and you can twist it to the right, left to go switch between each setting. Right now I'm on the touring mode. I can switch over to the right, and that puts me in sport mode. When I go to sport mode, the steering wheel gets a little bit heavier, suspension gets a little bit stiffer, engine shifting gets a little bit crazier, brake feel gets a little bit stronger, and the engine noise gets a little bit louder. That's what happens when you switch to the sport mode. All right, if I click it one more time, I switch to track mode. You go to track mode, steering gets really, really stiff. Suspension gets very stiff. Engine and shifting gets a lot harsher. Brake feel is a lot firmer. Engine sound is all the way up, turned up, you name it. I mean, everything gets turned up to the max in track mode. And in track mode, you can also go through a lot of different options to kind of figure out what's best for you. Like a sport mode and race 1, race 2, all that stuff. I'm not gonna go through that right here. We'll do that when I get to the track. But those are kind of your main modes right there. Let's see if I got another one if I switch to the right one more time. Nope, that's all the way to the right. I'm at track, right? So I can go all the way back. Let's go back to touring mode. So I'm on touring mode right here. Everything just got dulled down, and you can definitely feel the difference when you switch between the modes. I can feel this. I can feel the suspension get definitely a lot softer, or harder, or stiffer. I can feel the steering wheel get heavier or lighter. I mean, you can instantly feel it. It's an instant change, and it's really cool to kind of feel the difference. It's not like a subtle difference. There's cars out there that will sell you this, sell you that, tell you that, you know, hey, we have all these modes, but you don't really feel a big difference between them. This car, you
easy, so you can go around corners and feel like you're held in there well. And then you can always, you know, change your suspension settings, change your steering wheel settings, engine noise, shifting settings, all that stuff, so that you can get the performance, feel, sound that you want in a car, and you have it all right there with some dials. They give you so many different options on this car. It's absolutely crazy. More options than any other Corvette has ever had when it comes to changing out what you can do with this car. You can even edit your launch control now and launch from different RPMs with different slip percentages. So all that stuff being said, makes this car the most incredible Z06 GM has ever made. I'm still learning it. I don't even know everything about this car. I'm still learning it, and as I'm learning it, I'm trying to keep you all updated with what I know from my point of view with this car. I do not have a Z07. I just got the normal standard Z06. I do have the carbon fiber, the carbon ceramic brakes, but I don't have the carbon fiber wheels. I got the forged aluminum wheels, which look awesome. They look great. It's all good. But comfort-wise, that's what you get right there with a C8 Z06. I just made a stop for fuel, and this is the first time 91 octane is going to be going in the car. I wonder how it's going to feel. Dude, my taping job sucks. This stuff keeps coming up. I got to fix it. Keep trying to put it down, and it keeps wanting to come up. Everything else looks sorry, but it's still working. Oh man, I need to learn how to rap. All right, so I just put my first bit of 91 octane in this car. I'm in somewhere like Abilene, Texas, a little bit west of there, maybe right now, something like that. Once you start getting to the west side of Texas, all of a sudden you go from having amazing 93 octane to the crappy 91 octane. So anyways, the car is going to feel a little bit different. Now, how immediate, I don't know. These ECUs are pretty crazy.
Turn left onto FM 126.
Where they can
then
learn
turn right onto
the fuel
frontage road.
and you know, adapt to it. Obviously, it's going to reduce the timing on the car, so it's not going to make as much horsepower as it was making before. But you know what? That's just part of living in the west side of United States of America. My brakes squeal a lot. If anybody has any advice on what to do to get rid of brake squeal on carbon ceramic brakes, please let me know. That'd be nice.
Turn right onto Iwuji frontage road.
Yeah, but you know, the only crappy part is, you know, when it comes to this change in timing and all that fun stuff with these cars, once you have the lesser fuel, the 91 octane, it's not like I can go to a tuner and get this thing tuned and go make some more power or whatever. I can't. These ECUs are locked. So it really depends on, oh man, let me not hit this thing right here. It's so weird, like the little on-ramps over here are freaking nuts. You like gotta get on and go pretty quick. And now I have less power. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we'll see how the car reacts. You know, I mean, I'll start noticing the difference once I like start getting on it. Right now, the ECU is probably trying to figure itself out. Probably a little confused. It's like, what kind of crap fuel did you just give me? Well, I gave you 91 octane, and it's only going to have 91 octane from here on out. So, you know, I might as well get used to it. But I'll see what the difference is. I'll see how it performs. I want to get this thing back on the dyno when I get to California. I want to see what it's like on 91 octane, what it's making over there. I'd like to do a comparison with that, and also, you know, kind of what I saw the dyno with 93 octane in Texas. So that should be pretty interesting. Alrighty, so we are continuing on this trip, and stopped and got some fuel again. Once again, some more 91 octane, which is terrible. But you got to do what you got to do. So in some of my videos I've been posting, I've been seeing people ask the question, is a C8 Z06 truly
Proceed to the
worth it over a like a C8 Stingray, right? The C8 Stingray is definitely
turn right onto South Cedar Street.
A very, 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 very amazing vehicle to begin with. Honestly, after driving both cars now, I can tell you that the C8 Stingray I can compare to many different supercars nowadays, or cars that are considered supercars, I guess because of their price. But sorry about that. But I would say if you're in the Z06 market, you know, it's definitely worth getting. Now, obviously, you know, you don't want to pay crazy over a sticker. I've never believed in that. It's not my thing. But you know, if you're willing to pay that, I guess I just wouldn't do that. I don't know. Overpaying for things isn't really a great idea for anything. But performance-wise, on the street, most drivers who have these Corvettes are typically on the street. Most of them will never hit the track, all that stuff. If you're the type of person who will never hit the track ever, whether it's a drag strip, road course, you name it, you're only going to be basically street driving, cruising it, you know, maybe hit the gas a little, hit the throttle, you know, hard, coming off the line at a light, whatever you're doing, you know, the C8 would work for you. And I would say light to light, like, let's say if street racing was legal and people were allowed to race from light to light, which obviously it's not, but if they were, the C8 and the C8 Z06 are very even matched. At least if you got a C8 Z06 that's on like the 4S tires, the 300 tread wear. Now the Z07 package,
I-20 service road.
all that stuff, it probably might get a better launch because it can grip better and all that fun stuff. Has lighter wheels, you know, all that. But you know, base Z06 versus you know, base Stingray. Well, you don't got to deal with that with the base Stingray. That squeal from these carbon ceramic brakes. Although they stop really well, they squeal. Light to light, the C8 and the C8 Z06 are pretty much neck to neck. You know, and if you're the type of person who's, once again, never going to really hit the track and all that stuff, you know, the base C8 might just work for you. The Z06 is quicker, you know, light to light as far as maybe an eighth mile. The C8 Z06 will still beat the C8, but it will only beat it by a certain amount. If you stretched it out a quarter mile, the C8 Z06 just runs away with it for sure. But most people aren't running a quarter mile on the streets like that unless they're street racing, which isn't legal. But just that comparison right there, you know. And the reason I know that because, you know, did a video with Brink of Speed, my buddy in Texas. We were just going neck and neck with my C8 Z06, his base C8, and we were doing it at a track. We went to a straightaway on a road course, and we were doing some testing there. It was pretty crazy to see how quick that base C8 is. It's quick. I mean, 0 to 60, both of these cars are close. This is quicker, you know, once again, if you grip up and all that stuff, this is quicker, but it's not like the C8 Z06 just blows it out of the water 0 to 60. Both cars are very strong cars. But once again, it all depends on what kind of money you got. I mean, if you're the type of guy who's like, I need a Z06 no matter what, then boom, that's your car. Go get it.
Left to merge onto I-20 West.
The MSRP price for it is definitely well worth it. This car is definitely well worth all the $100,000 plus, you know, you can get these things at, right? I suggest that if you can get a Z06, get one. If you can't, don't feel like you are just completely way out of the ballpark, that you're in left field, you can never compete with the Z06. I don't think that's true. The base C8 can hold its own very well in a lot of different ways. Performance-wise, acceleration, handling, all that stuff. I think it's, you know, it's still a strong car, you know. But so for those out, like I think in past generations, you know, Z06s have blown out the base models by far. This generation, they did a really good job on that base C8. So I mean, I got to give it its props. Once again, still the C8 Z06 is still a better car all the way around, every single way possible. Yes, but the C8 normal is no slouch at all. So just keep that in mind. I've done the test. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm like, wow. The base C8 is a formidable opponent. All right, so I just got to El Paso, downtown El Paso. This is like one of the first times I've ever really gone downtown El Paso. Every time I've come to El Paso, when I've driven through here, I stayed at like the Army base, I think Fort Bliss or whatever it's called. But now I'm staying somewhere else, downtown. A bit different.
Go past this light. Then at the next one, turn right.
City driving with the C8 Z is A-okay, right?
At the light, turn right onto
Oh,
West
good.
Mills Avenue. Then turn right onto Henry Trost Court.
Alright. I gotta turn down here. It's a nice, pretty place.
Turn right onto Henry Trost Court. Then turn left.
It's a nice little hotel. Need to find the little underground parking or something. Let's see.
Turn left. Then turn right into the parking lot.
It's a massive hotel. I wonder where parking actually is for this place. Alright, self-parking, there we go.
Turn right into the parking lot.
Turn right now, we turn left into it, according to this thing.
Arrived.
Alright, self-parking right there. Alright, so I gotta jump in here for self-parking. My best to not set off any alarms. Where should I park? Seems like a good spot right here.
6.5 hours later.
Just woke up. Second day of the trip. El Paso to California, time to hit the road and go. I think it's a little chilly outside, but should be nice little 11, 12-hour journey. So hopefully we can cut some of that time down. But yeah, it's time to get rolling in the C8 Z06. Gas station here in wherever I'm at. I don't even know where I'm at. I think I'm in New Mexico or Arizona. I don't know. Gas is filled up now. It's time to get going. 91 octane. Not great, but whatever. But speaking of fuel, looks like we can talk about some fuel mileage and how fuel mileage works with this car. Let me find my way out of here first. So I don't hit anything. I think I gotta go left. Yep. Fuel mileage on this car, it's all right.
At the light, use the right lane to merge onto I-10 West.
It's not the best in the world, right? But it's all right. You know, it's not bad for a
Right.
very, very wonderfully put together sports car, right? There goes those dang brakes. So, as far as fuel mileage on the car, this car, it does all right. I mean, it's not the best, but, you know, it does all right on fuel. Every time I fill up, like I just filled up right now, and it's saying that I can get basically, let's see what's the speed limit first before I start going. Let me take this thing out of Z mode. Let's see what the speed limit is. All right, 75, okay. Set right here, I should be good. All right, so yeah, fuel mileage on this car, it's all right. 318 miles is what it's saying I can get right now. If I just kind of drive the way I've been driving right now, I can basically get, you know, 318 out of it. And it's been pretty accurate as long as you're not jamming on it. If you start jamming on it, obviously the amount of mileage it says you can get will start decreasing. But right now, being that I've been cruising for hours and hours and hours, I've been basically kind of cruise control the majority of this time. It's been basically every time I fill up over 300 miles is what I say I'm getting. It's been super, super accurate on that. So really, if you wanted to stretch the distance of this car, you can get about 300 miles or so. You know, now if I was driving 65 miles per hour the entire way, never accelerating,
slow all the way. Obviously, I'm trying to stay within the speed limit range, but I'm not trying to go crazy slow either. Speed limits have been anywhere from 70 to 80 something miles per hour the entire time, which is great. You know, you're not having to drive super slow. But I'm thinking this thing could stretch. I mean, you know, if I had all the time in the world, I'd be like, just put it at 65 or 70 and just cruise at that and see what happens there. But yeah, fuel mileage wise, it's not bad. In the city, you know, obviously it decreases, you know, accelerating, decelerating, all that stuff, you know, it decreases the fuel mileage. Does it make it terrible? No, it's kind of on par of any Z06 I've ever owned. Actually, the best fuel mileage Z06 I've ever owned was the C8 Z06. I actually got 409 miles on one tank one time, and that was really cool to see that I got that many miles on one tank. Now, I was trying very hard to do that too. I was 65 miles per hour, 6th gear, never barely touching the throttle. I mean, I just cruise and stretched it. It worked. Who knows? This car might be able to get 400 miles on tank if I really wanted to stretch it, but I'm not trying to do that. It's pretty reasonable. It's 300 something miles. I'm cool with that. Any car that can do that, you're good, you know. But yeah, fuel mileage is not bad. Obviously, you got to buy premium fuel. You can't buy crap. You can't buy like 87, 89, all that stupid stuff. Yeah, the 91, 93 or better, and that's it.
Finally, just got back to California. I'm here now. Got the C8 Z behind me and made it. C6 Z drift car right there. C7 Z's at the shop. But anyways, finally made it. It was a long trip, good trip. Learned a lot about the car. Fuel mileage is actually really good. I didn't really get to really truly figure out the fuel mileage on my first half of my trip going from North Carolina to Texas, but from Texas to California, really got to kind of see what this thing does, and it's actually really good. I mean, this, I know I said earlier that's probably right over 300 miles. This thing would probably get a full 360 miles on one tank. So anyways, good solid car, comfortable car, back feels great. I mean, I drove 19, 20 hours, whatever it is. Everything was good, car feels good, super comfortable ride, great sound system. You can make calls, Bluetooth works great, everything just works really nice. It's a great car, comfortable car, rides smooth, rides great, sounds amazing, fun car, all was well. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we'll get some more videos out to you on more tests and more things we're doing with the C8 Z06.